Okay, today's problem, we've got water which is gathering in the engine bilge, and it's been happening on and off for, well, about a month now, maybe a couple of weeks. And I've tried researching it on YouTube, and I've tried using the internet to find the reasons why. A few people with a similar engine or with the same engine have said because it's a water lubricated prop, and I'll try and show you that down there, that the way the prop mechanism works is it sprays water onto the prop, which then in turn lubricates it. But as a byproduct, or as a result of that, some of this water spray gets fed into the engine build, so it's not a particularly efficient system. Somebody else has told me that I need to grease the seals, and then somebody else has told me that I don't need to grease the seals because it's a water lubricated system. All I know is that at the moment I'm getting water in my engine bilge, and I've just mopped out for the first time probably in about 5 days, and there's probably about a litre of water in there, which is, well, it may not sound like a lot, or it might sound like a lot. I don't know. Is that a lot? Is that normal? When we were moored up by the canal side, Julie took the opportunity to film a woodpecker. You can just about see it there. It's quite blurred, unfortunately. It's iPhone footage. She put the bird feeder out, and on this tree we also had goldfinches and long-tailed tits as well, and I think we're going to try and get some more footage of those. So we've got sunshine, we've got rain. It's about 13-14 degrees. Everything's pretty mild. But apparently we've got a mini beast from the east coming. So we'll have a look and see what the weather's like tomorrow. At the moment, okay, great. I prefer it not to be raining, but at least the sun's shining. Have you spotted the mouse yet? In the top of the 3 holes. There he goes, just disappeared.
You finding the bugs, Eric?
Now, I've heard of rubber plants. I'm not sure I've ever seen a rubber fetish tree. This is some sort of bizarre Blair Witch sort of thing that we came across as we were walking along the towpath. Actually, in fairness, we think that they're bird houses made out of everyday objects, like boots and croc shoes and things like that. Just looked a bit odd and bizarre as we stumbled across it, especially the high-heeled leather boot. So this is Semington docks. This was the whole purpose of the journey. They're going to look at our solar panels, the fitting, and also doing the carpentry work. And they're also going to have a look at the leak in our engine, which we mentioned earlier in the video. They've got a dry dock there as well, so at some point when we come to do the blacking, which will be in about 3 years' time, we'll probably get them to do that as well, because it'll be a lot cheaper than a lift out.
They also come highly recommended, and no, we haven't been paid to promote them.
This is the entrance to the, or the old entrance to the old Wilts and Berkshire Canal. As you can see, it's blocked off, no longer in existence.
Apparently when they reopen this canal, which they are intending to do, the planning permission is in place, they're going to move the entrance a few hundred yards down to the next lock. There's going to be a run straight through for wide beams and narrows to Melksham, but then when it gets to Melksham it's going to pick up the old original track of the canal, which will then be narrow beam. So they're going to then open that up to link from the new entrance to the old canal just past Melksham.
So it must be somewhere up there then, yeah. The new entrance. It's got to be, innit? This is the Barge Inn.
Brilliant location to paint in.
Certainly is. Especially given the fact that you got that for a view.
Wonderful beer garden.
This is the Barge Inn, and it's clearly very popular. And they do some fantastic food in there, so if you're passing on the Kennet and Avon and you decide you want to stop for a nice lunch, then the Barge Inn is definitely the place to be. They do a really nice roast dinner. Well, Eric agrees. Don't you, Eric? Hey.
Well, they don't tell everyone because we want to stop.
Yeah, true.
This is the life.
It is the life.
How can you not like this?
What's not to like? Sunday afternoon, sitting on the boat, Julie's painting, and I'm drinking a beer. Bay we go.
It's not much space down there, is there?
Not considering it's a wide beam and it's a fairly big lump of engine though, isn't it?
Hmm.
Oh, not as slim as the torch like.
Is there lots of water?
No, there's loads of pipes.
Oh.
Loads of pipes. Right, he said to place the nappy underneath where, in effect, the wet patch is, and I can see it just there. Could you pass me the long stick that's on the kitchen side? It's finally going to have a use. Okay, so you might not be able to see it, but I'll move the nappy. Just in here, there's a little wet patch. I talk about water in the bilge, which is obviously down here. You can see the rust spots down there. And what's happening, I've taken it to the people at Semington docks, and they've identified that actually it's not the stern or the prop, it's the calorifier. And I think it's dripping and it needs tightening up. And I think this is the culprit here. So for the time being though, until I can get the correct tools, I've been advised to stuff a nappy down there. Good old fashioned nappy, just like Cruise in the Cut recommended in one of his earlier videos. So hopefully this will stem some of the flow of water that's dripping into my engine bilge. Hopefully. Right. Well, that's the nappy in. Oh, I've also, while I'm here, got to try and poke a plastic tub down there, because I've been told that whilst it's not major serious, there's a little bit of water there, tiny little drips, and he wants us to collect whatever water we can to give us an idea of what the problem is, or how bad the problem is. He's not too concerned with that, so that's one bit of good news at least, because we were originally thinking that if that was the cause of the leak, then we'd have to dry dock the boat. There's £800 to £1,000, 2 days work, man hours, etc, etc. So at the moment all he wants us to do is monitor it over the cruising season until the end of the season, in sort of start of winter, and then he wants us to give him an update, and he'll decide whether he thinks it then needs to be looked at. So, and another interesting point while we were chatting away to Ian, who's very helpful if anybody wants to, and no, he hasn't paid me for this, but if anybody wants to look up their services on the Kennet and Avon, they're at Semington docks. He's the guy we're going to go to about the solar, but also he showed us how to get hot water from the engine, which, if you look here, you'll see 2 red switches, and there. We had no clue that those were in the off position, so we were boiling kettles to do washing up while we were out on the cut. Within 3 seconds he switched both of these into the on position and said, next time you take it for a cruise you'll have hot water for showers and for washing up. And lo and behold, we did. So thank you, Ian, for solving that little problem. As you can probably tell, we had a very poor handover when we bought the boat. Nobody gave us any information, talked us through anything, so what we're learning at the moment is pretty much as we're going along.
This way, this way, this way, this way.